Joining us tonight, two congressmen. They're in Yuma, Arizona this week, where they have witnessed firsthand the state of emergency at our southern border. Joining us tonight, Congressman Andy Biggs of Arizona and co-chair of the Border Security Caucus. Congressman Biggs also serves on the House Judiciary Committee, a member of the House Freedom Caucus. Congressman Gaetz, a member of the House Judiciary Committee as well, and Armed Services Committees. Gentlemen, I would kid with you about your sunglasses, but I worked too long in that area where you are standing. I know the intensity and the glare of that sun. It is great to have you with us on the broadcast tonight. What have you seen? And tell us a little bit about your thoughts there on the border. Congressman Biggs?
Well, Lou, what we've seen here is where we're standing, for instance, right now is right next to a fence that you can see behind us that will stop nobody from getting over. It's right next to the Colorado River, which at this point is about 10 feet wide and ankle deep. And in the trees and bushes behind us and on the hills behind us, we know, Border Patrol knows, ICE knows that there are literally hundreds of people waiting to come into this country tonight. But for Attorney General Barr's, all of them would be released within about 20 days. But right now, it's going to be people who come over with a kid, and that when we bring that child in, they're going to be out of there within about 5 days, even with that ruling. And it's a crisis. I mean, we ran across a significant apprehension last night, and we anticipate more later today and tonight.
Yeah. Yuma, of course, one of the busiest. The busiest sector is, of course, the Rio Grande sector. But Yuma does pretty well in that department as well, and in particular the drug smuggling that has gone on there for decades. Congressman Gaetz, your impressions?
Well, we are right here at a funnel point in the Yuma Valley, Lou, and Border Patrol jokingly mock what's behind us as the Obama wall because it's not doing anything to stop the floods of migrants. We can literally hear the cartels, zooming back and forth, spotting us on their ATVs. And here's the tragedy. The 42 people that we saw apprehended last night will be out on the streets before the end of a week. In 4 days, they are released. So today, or the policy we witnessed last night, was catch and release. And what's so sad is these migrants, these cartel members, these smugglers, whomever they are that are crossing the border, they simply turn themselves in. They don't even run. They don't even fight because they know that our laws are so broken that they'll be released out into the public anyway. It is a total joke. They're laughing at us right behind us, and I'm glad we've got a president and an attorney general that's willing to fight to preserve the country.
Right, and I should point out, if there's any confusion, the ruling by the Attorney General overruling an immigration court judge, that doesn't take effect as a matter of policy for 90 days now. So there will be that lagging effect at the border where we will still need all of the help and luck we can in this country to sustain what is obviously an orchestrated surge funded by the leftists, who knows, maybe by the business interests of this country. Corruption is on both sides of this border, and no one should make a mistake about that, thinking it's simply the cartels south of the border. Am I correct, Congressman Biggs?
Yeah, you're absolutely right. We know that people are coming over. This border is controlled, for instance, by the Sinaloa cartel. And the reality is, we're facing people who are corrupt on both sides of the border, and that's what's part of going on here and what makes this a crisis. So when you start seeing, like we did, 42 people caught in one group last night, plus an additional half dozen or more in the short time we were kind of shadowing the Border Patrol, if you will, I will tell you, it is an incredible reminder of how porous our border is, how dangerous it is, what a threat to national security it is, and that's not even getting into the humanitarian crisis of people who are coming up here risking their lives. Yeah. So I'm grateful. Matt's right. The president's right on this thing where he says it's an emergency, and we have got to stand up. We got to find an answer. Yeah. And we all need more of Congress to come out here and see what's really going down here so they understand the massiveness of this problem.
And Lou, if I could add some of the techniques we've seen used by the cartel, they actually work to create something called gap time, where they'll send a group of 40 or 50 migrants over. Yeah. That'll absorb all of the Border Patrol resources we have have, and then they'll use that as an excuse to maybe send 2 or 3 males around, creating those gaps. The second way they create gap time is that each migrant that is caught is going to create an hour and a half to 3 hours of paperwork. That takes our Border Patrol out of the work to secure our country and puts them in a bureaucratic role that they shouldn't be in. The cartels are using it, and they're laughing at us. We have got to get serious about this.
Absolutely, and the president is obviously, sometimes he must feel that he is alone in his seriousness about this. He is now moving the primary mission of the Homeland Security Department from counterterrorism to straightforwardly border security and illegal immigration. Your quick reactions, if we may, to his decision and that shift in emphasis and focus and priority for Homeland Security. Congressman Biggs?
Yeah, when you start talking about border security, you're talking about national security. And it's evident in everything that we have seen down here, what we'll see in the next couple of days as well. I applaud the decision.
And we continue to see not only Guatemalans and Hondurans, but even stories of Cubans, Haitians, special interest aliens that are woven into this mix with these caravans. So the cartels fund the caravans to create the distractions, to create real security consequences for our country. It is so obvious to everyone here. We don't know why it's not obvious to our fellow members of Congress in Washington.
I think you're referring mostly to Democrats, weren't you, Congressman? Thanks so much.
Well, but even some Republicans that we need to do more on border security, Lou.
Yeah, I remember those folks. Congressman, good to have you with us. Appreciate it. Thanks so much. Congressman Andy Biggs, Congressman
Thanks, Lou.
Matt Gaetz. Thank you, gentlemen. And I do admire that Obama fence behind you.